WS-427 carefully adjusted the monitoring array's sensitivity, its antennae twitching with concentration as it filtered through the cascade of human transmissions. The worker scholar's compound eyes reflected the soft blue glow of countless data streams. Text messages, video calls, social media updates, and something the humans called cat videos that seemed to propagate across their networks like spores in the wind. The observation chamber was mercifully empty of Vesper overseers at this early hour. The constant presence of Information Master Buzz Arcaris the Wise and his endless demands for immediate results made precise work difficult. WS-427 had discovered that arriving before the morning pheromone call allowed for approximately 47 minutes of uninterrupted research. Research that would be considered highly questionable if its true nature were discovered by Battle Overseer Stingrax the Swift. WS-427 thought, manipulating the controls with its foremost appendages. The Battle Overseer was notorious for executing workers who showed too much initiative. The official assignment from Overseer Kylax the Thorough was simple: analyze human communication patterns for weaknesses that could be exploited by the Vesper Dominion. The underlying assumption, like always, was that any species lacking a true hive mind must be inherently inferior, primitive, uncoordinated. But WS-427 had noticed something different, something fascinating. A notification pinged on the monitoring array. WS-427 quickly focused on a sudden surge of human activity originating from what they called Southeast Asia. A minor geological event, an earthquake, had occurred. The worker scanner watched in quiet amazement as the information spread across human networks with an efficiency that rivaled the Epidaem's own warning pheromones. First came the automated seismic alerts, spreading outward through dedicated emergency channels. Within seconds, human news networks began broadcasting updates. Social media platforms exploded with first-hand accounts. Aid organizations mobilized. Government agencies coordinated responses, all without a single controlling queen or overseer directing the flow of information. And remarkable, WS-427 whispered, a habit picked up from studying human broadcasts. Such individualistic expression would earn a swift execution from War Master Venomix the Cruel. But here in the solitude of early morning, the worker scholar allowed itself this small rebellion. The terminal's memory crystals hummed as WS-427 archived another example of what it had begun to think of as the human's artificial hive mind. Their internet was not so different from the complex chemical signatures Apidane workers used to coordinate tasks. Their social media trends paralleled the way information rippled through a colony. Even their entertainment seemed to serve a deeper purpose, creating shared experiences that bound their society together. The door membrane rippled, and WS-4227 quickly switched displays to show a simple signal analysis as Kylax the Thorough entered the chamber. The Vesper's larger, more aggressive form cast a looming shadow over the workstation, his polished black carapace gleaming menacingly. "Report progress," Kylax demanded, mandibles clicking with impatience. His reputation for attentiveness to detail had earned him his title and made him particularly dangerous to workers with secrets. "Analysis continues. Most attentive one," WS-427 responded, adopting the properly submissive posture. "Human communications remain fragmented and inefficient." The lie felt strange, like spoiled nectar, but the truth would be far more dangerous. "Expected." Kylax's antennae twitched dismissively. "High Overseer Vexratix the Magnificent demands exploitable weaknesses. Do not disappoint her." As the Hive commanded, WS-427 answered, maintaining perfect stillness until the Overseer departed. Only then did the worker scholar permit itself to relax slightly, compound eyes returning to the streams of human data. They were so different from the Apeidaeon, yes, but perhaps not in the ways the Vesper Masters assumed. Where the Apeidaeon had evolved biological unity, humans had built their own version of it, piece by piece. And they had done it while remaining, somehow, beautifully, impossibly, individual. WS4127 began composing its daily report for Kilex the Thorough, being careful to include just enough useful information to satisfy the overseers, while concealing the more significant implications of its discoveries. The human's artificial hive mind was simultaneously more fragile and more flexible than the biological versions of the Apeidaeon and their Vesper Masters. And perhaps, though WS427 barely dared to think it, their system held keys to questions the worker scholar had never been permitted to ask. The grand hive chamber thrummed with the wing beats of dozens of Vesper nobles, their iridescent black carapaces gleaming in the bioluminescent light. W609 stood perfectly still at the presentation podium, fighting every instinct to shrink away from the assembled masters of the Dominion. "Proceed with your analysis of human communications," commanded High Overseer Vex Ratix the Magnificent, her massive form dominating the central dais. Beside her, Ward Director Hornax the Merciless flexed his barbed forearms with barely contained impatience. WS427's antennae quivered slightly, a sign of nervousness that would have earned immediate punishment if detected. But the worker scholar had spent too many cycles studying humans to waste this opportunity. Sometimes, as humans said, one had to roll the dice. Now, too, Thorpe prowled in his comforted prison cell. "Most honored overseers," WS427 began, activating the chamber's holographic projector. "My research has revealed something unexpected about human information exchange." "To the point, drone," growled Information Master Buzz Arcaris the Wise, his golden-striped carapace reflecting the holographic light. "Begin." The projection filled with streams of data. Social media feeds, news networks, emergency broadcasts, and entertainment channels. WS427 noticed several Vesper nobles shifting uncomfortably at the chaotic display. "Observe this human response to a crisis event," WS427 continued, highlighting a particular data stream. "A massive storm was approaching a populated coastline. Note how the warning spreads." The chamber watched as emergency alerts rippled across human networks. Weather satellites tracked the storm's path. News outlets issued warnings. Social media erupted with preparation advice and evacuation instructions. Government agencies coordinated their responses. Bestowed them. "This pattern," WS427 indicated with a foreclaw, "mirrors our own colony-wide alert pheromones, but achieved through technological means. And, most fascinating of all, observe their devotion to their own form of royalty." The projection shifted to show crowds gathered outside various palaces and royal residences across Earth. Humans waving flags, celebrating coronations, mourning the passing of queens, welcoming new kings. "Like us, they serve their queens with complete devotion," WS427 explained. "Though uniquely, they also recognize kings as supreme rulers, a concept that would be alien to our biological imperatives, yet they've adapted to it seamlessly." Colony Master Thoraxius the Elder leaned forward, his ancient eyes gleaming with interest. "Explain further." "Their queens and kings function as focal points for their collective identity," WS427 continued. "Much like our own royalty, human monarchs serve as living symbols of their hive's unity. They've even created digital platforms dedicated solely to tracking royal activities, spreading news of royal births, marriages, and successions across their global network, instantly." "Irrelevant similarities," snapped Battle Overseer Stingrax the Swift. "Show us their weaknesses." Cecily sliced off her costume, put it over her arm, then unlaced her uniform. But consider this example. WS4427 pressed on, switching to a new dataset. Humans have created entities they call influencers, individuals who shape the behavior and decisions of thousands or even millions of others. Their function parallels our drone directors, but with greater flexibility. These influencers often focus intensely on royal activities, spreading information about their monarchs across the hive mind network they call social media. The buzz of uncertainty grew louder as WS427 displayed the spread of what humans called viral content related to royal events. Several public gatherings in Moscow eroded its meaning and added its reputation to the viral content. These memes propagate through human society like behavior-modifying pheromones. Their hashtags function as emergency rally markers. When a queen or king makes a public appearance, millions of humans instantly coordinate their attention, sharing images and commentary across their network in patterns identical to our own royal attendance protocols. Enough! Vexratix the Magnificent rose to her full height, wings partially extended in a threat display. "You suggest these individually minded creatures have achieved true hive coordination?" WS427's compound eyes fixed on the High Overseer. "Not achieved, most luminous one, created. They have built an artificial hive mind that operates alongside their individual consciousness, while maintaining the traditional hierarchies we recognize, complete with queens, courts, and collective devotion to their rulers." The chamber erupted in angry buzzing. Several junior overseers flared their wings in agitation, but WS40207 noticed that Thoraxius the Elder had grown very still, a sign of deep concern among the Vesper elite. "Observe their response to threats to their royalty," W427 continued, displaying footage of humans rallying to defend their monarch's honor online. "Their networks self-heal like our own neural linkages. Their technology allows them to think and act as both individuals and collective simultaneously, while maintaining unwavering loyalty to their rulers." "This is heresy," hissed War Master Venomix the Cruel from the lower tier. "This is data," WS427 responded, surprising itself with its boldness. "Humans have developed systems that mirror every advantage of our biological hive mind, including our devotion to royalty. Their internet functions as an artificial neural network connecting billions of minds. Their social networks create the same unity of purpose we achieve through pheromones." High Overseer Vexratix's antennae laid flat against her head, a sign of severe agitation. "And you believe this artificial system equals our natural perfection?" WS427's response was quiet but clear. "The evidence suggests it may have surpassed it, while maintaining the hierarchical structure we ourselves hold sacred." The chamber exploded into chaos. Junior overseers buzzed in outrage, while elder nobles huddled in urgent consultation. Through the chaos, WS427 noticed that both Vexratix the Magnificent and Thoraxius the Elder had grown utterly still, their compound eyes fixed on the displays of human communication patterns with an intensity that suggested something beyond anger. They were afraid. And in that moment, WS427 understood that the highest nobles had reached the same conclusion that had been growing in the Workers' Club's mind for many cycles. The humans hadn't just replicated hive mind advantages, they had found a way to surpass its limitations while preserving the core aspects of royal devotion that the Vesper Dominion had always assumed was uniquely their own. As the chaos in the Grand Hive Chamber continued, Colony Master Thoraxius the Elder raised his wings for silence. The ancient Vesper's carapace might have dulled with age, but his authority remained unquestioned. Even High Overseer Vexratix the Magnificent quieted her agitated wing buzzing. Workers scholars, Thraxius addressed WS-427 directly, an unprecedented breach of protocol that sent shocked whispers through the chamber. You will explain this hybrid system in detail. WS-427's antennae trembled, but the worker's shoulder forced them still. Most Ancient One, consider their information repository called Wikipedia. Like our genetic memory, it preserves collective knowledge. But unlike our system, it can be updated in real time by individual contributors, each adding their unique perspective while maintaining collective accuracy through group oversight. Impossible, growled War Director Hornax the Merciless. Individual minds cannot maintain such harmony. And yet, WS-427 activated a new display. Observe their emergency response systems. When disaster strikes, humans coordinate across their global network with efficiency matching our finest colony defense reactions. The display showed multiple crisis responses: floods, fires, earthquakes, with humans self-organizing through their communication networks. Information Master Buzz Arcaris the Wise chittered thoughtfully. These are mere technological imitations of true Hive consciousness. Respectfully, most knowledgeable one, they are more. WS-427 brought up new data streams. Their social movements spread like colony-wide behavior shifts, but with added complexity. Each participant maintains individual thought while contributing to collective action. Their internet forums function as specialized subhives, fostering deep expertise in specific areas, while remaining connected to the larger network. And what of their royalty? Demanded Battle Overseer Stingrax the Swift. How can they maintain proper hierarchy with such individual autonomy? WS-427 displayed footage of human royal ceremonies alongside social media reactions. Their devotion to monarchy demonstrates remarkable flexibility. They can simultaneously revere their queens and kings while engaging in open discourse about governance. They maintain heritage and hierarchy while allowing for evolution of their social structures. Or Master Venomix the Cruel's mandibles clacked menacingly. You suggest this makes them stronger. I suggest it makes them different, WS-127 answered carefully. They've created a system that preserves individual creativity while enabling collective action. Their technological hive mind adapts faster than our biological one, yet maintains stability through shared cultural touchstones, including their royal institutions. High Overseer Vexratix the Magnificent rose from her throne. The chamber grew utterly still as she approached the presentation podium, her massive form towering over WS-4227. The worker shocker fought the urge to flee as her compound eyes studied the displays. You've spent too much time studying humans, drone, she said quietly. You begin to think like them. Perhaps, Colony Master Thraxius the Elder interjected, his ancient voice carrying surprising strength. That is precisely why this one has seen what we did not. The High Overseer's antennae twitched with barely contained rage, but none could challenge the Colony Master's wisdom openly. Consider, Raxius continued, addressing the chamber, we assumed our biological hive mind was the pinnacle of evolution. Yet here we find humans achieving similar unity through artificial means, while maintaining individual adaptability. They serve their queens and kings not through biological compulsion, but through choice, and perhaps that makes their loyalty even stronger. War Director Hornax the Merciless flexed his barbed forelimbs. I suggest, the Colony Master responded, that perhaps there is more than one path to unity. WS-427 stood perfectly still as the implications of Thraxius's words rippled through the chamber. The worker squaw had expected execution for its revelations. Instead, the eldest and wisest of the Vesper Masters was validating them. A pause, contrary to what a dominating person would see as an attack, led directly to something that had penetrated their understanding for a very long time. High Overseer Vexratix's wings vibrated with suppressed emotion. This changes nothing. We are still superior. Of course, Most Magnificent One, WS-427 responded, allowing submissive pheromones to fill the air. But as the worker scholar's compound eyes met those of Colony Master Thoraxius, a moment of understanding passed between them. The humans hadn't just copied hive mind advantages, they had transcended them. They had found a way to be both one and many, united and individual, traditional and innovative. And in doing so, they had demonstrated that consciousness itself might be more flexible than anyone in the Dominion had imagined. As the chamber erupted into fresh debates, WS-427 began to wonder if perhaps the humans' artificial hive mind offered hope not just for their own species, but for others who dreamed of unity without uniformity, strength without submission, and loyalty born of choice rather than compulsion. The worker scholar's antennae quivered with an emotion that, had any of the Vesper Masters been paying attention, might have been recognized as hope. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I hope you enjoyed it a lot. If you did, please be sure to give it a like. Feel free to comment and share this story too. It helps the channel grow. Let's make this channel huge together.